Good evening to all of you. I think I should wait 5 minutes maximum and start our concept creation. And I am taking your section A, paper 20. Okay. Uh, Good evening to all of you. Let's start with paper number 20, move 4, strategic performance management and business valuation. I'm taking you first part, section A, strategic performance management. This syllabus is divided into two parts. Section A carry 50% and Section B also carry 50%. In Section A, there are 4 study notes that we already discussed day before yesterday in first class. Section A consists of study note 1, 2, 3, 4. Study note 1, conceptual framework of performance management. This is section 1. So I am starting my presentation with this area. Study note 1, conceptual framework of performance management. Now, when you talk about performance management, you already learned from very beginning since your 11th standard, 10 plus 2 curriculum as well. What do you mean by management? Management is getting the work done by others. But when we talk about performance management, it means identification, it means identification, measurement, development, financial performance in organization, right? So, very first thing, is it a continuous process or is it one an event? So, starting with, I'm raising a question whether the management measurement of a continuous process or whether it is event. So, to answer this, I must say performance management is a continuous process. Why so? Because there are some objectives. One objective achieved, objective one achieved, we have another object. So that means when you clear already your intern, you have another object that you have to go through with the training process. After completing your training process, you have another target. After completing CMA, you may also look after there is further institute provide you some further study opportunity. Yes, obvious. So performance management is not an event. It is a continuous process. And second thing, it is linked with mission and goals. It is linked with mission and goals. Right. So whatever the goals are there, it should be understand to employee so that employer contribution to the organization must be explicit, right? So I must say there is a difference in performance management and performance appraisal. There is a line, performance management versus performance appraisal. Appraisal means you are checking it, what are the positive and giving the rewards. While the management come from very beginning, it start from planning and on the performance appraisal. So could I say performance management is a broader concept and performance appraisal is a narrow concept, right? Then I go with the knowledge economy. What do you mean by knowledge economy? Nowadays, we know the value of technical know-how is increasing. It's not this era since revolution, when the industrial revolutions took place, the knowledge economy also took place at the high speed. There are some intangible assets that mean patent right, know-how, and copyright. So a management will have to pay more attention to enhance those activity which will increase outcomes in the favor of organization. So in a knowledge economy, performance management is a process of identification, process of identification, measurement, management, and developing in such a way, that human resources in the organization, human resources in the organization achieve more performance. Right? Am I allowed to move forward? You can type in chat box as well. Right. So there is a difference in performance appraisal and performance management. I already talked about performance management, right? Performance appraisal is a little narrow concept as compared to performance management, right? In performance management, basically it related to overall activities, planning, continuous evaluation, reviews, rating, and it is an ongoing process, not a short-term process, it's a long-term process. What do you mean by performance appraisal? Performance appraisal is go from top to down. That is, there is a manager on your top who do performance appraisal from top to down. That is, it is done by at top position Mr. A, at bottom position Mr. B. He may be employee, right? A may be manager. So it moved from A to B. But whereas performance management, it is a joint process. There is appraisal so that your stipend, your remuneration may be determined by appraisal, while in a case of performance management, it is a formal review. It gives you some internal satisfaction whether the job doing by you is satisfied you or not. Performance appraisal is a monolithic system, while performance management is a flexible. It does involve use of rating, whereby you are rating categories of employee, high performing employee, low performance employee. So you can say why you are doing rating. The rating will give you some idea regarding the remuneration that can be given. While performance management rating is less concerned, right? So could I say performance management related to qualitative aspects, while quantitative aspect related to performance appraisal. It may be bureaucratic framework, it may be documentation to be kept many. Right. Now, moving ahead, we have concept of performance management. Before starting understanding the formal definition of performance management, I want to start with giving example to what do you mean by performance? What do you mean by performance management cycle? It's a plan, act, monitor, and then review. Right. So, performance management, what is the very first step we cannot say? Sometime, sometime you put in a position to review first whatever the ongoing ideas of organization. Suppose there is a merger and acquisition activities taking place and half process is completed and you put at this point. You introduce an organization during the process of merger and acquisition. The question arises at what point you will start. You start from planning, you start from the action course, you start from monitoring course, So basic question arise at what position, at what time you injected in the organization, right? Because when you are considering a factory, the employees are very busy in production. So how you can do performance management? First, you can monitor them, you can review them. So it is a circle. You cannot say here it is word given. It is a circle. And if you ask me what is the definition of circle, circle definition means where there is no starting point, there is no ending point. We cannot say action come first. We cannot say monitor come first. It totally depends upon at what time you get injected in the organization. Yes, but generalized view, wherever you go, you plan, you act, you have to monitor and review. So if you ask me, sir, what are the component? First component, definitely what? Planning. Any one of you can message in chat box. What do you mean by planning? No, no issue. Planning is filling the gap. Planning is filling the gap between where we are, where we want to go. Kunj O. Donald. You search it on a Google, you also find this definition by Kunz Donald that it is filling the gap between where we are and where we want to go. Where we want to go. So it is filling up what? Filling up what? Gap. This we are at this point and we want to go at this point. So planning is filling the gap between where we are and where we want to go. Mean thereby, it is very first step. It is very first step that at the beginning of any event, you have to start with planning. When you use planning, you have to drill KPI, KPI or KRA. What do you mean by KPI or KRA? When I become CMA, I have some interview in ITC company. So in interview, they asked me, do you know our KPI? Sir, yes, I know your KPI. What do you mean by KPI first? These are the key performance indicator or key result areas. I should underline it. If you are carrying your study map, it may be at page number 12 that KPI and ERA. KPI stands for the key performance indicator. So when we talk about KPI, that means a company may have some area which are very important, which are indicator of what? Performance of company. For example, if you talk about Amazon, if you talk about Flipkart, they are very good in logistic management. So their excellent management skill in logistic is one of the area. Likely you talk about some company, say for example airlines, Indian Airlines or Indigo, when they are in good in taking the passenger from one place to another place with some safeties. So performance area vary from industry to industry, but these are the main area. These are the main area which indicate. So we go one by one. First, what is the percentage of prior utilization? You have considered that lockdown affected many organizations. Percentage of equipment utilization of utilization is drastically decreased. Cost per ton. Cost vary in case of the cement industry. You take about example of average sale revenue. Average sale revenue, it is mainly in telecom sector. In telecom sector, each company paying attention what is the revenue they are earning from each of the subscriber. Then what is the order fulfillment percentage for you? Sometimes small customer turn up in your organization. It does not mean they are not important. They are important as well. They are important as well. But you have to consider what is the order fulfillment percentage. Next one is inventory ceiling. What is the maximum limit? What is the maximum limit that you want to keep in your organization? What is the maximum values of debtor as well as creditor? Debtors versus and I'm sorry, creditors. Okay. Next one is what are the statutory compliance? Statutory compliance come from the government side, right? Next one is what are the time limits for solution of complaint of customer? It is very important nowadays because we are moving towards service economy. And service economy means whereby customer are get highly satisfied by the services provided to him. No industry in these days can be run without the services provided to them. More example are Tata Sky, Dish TV, Airtel, Geo. You just make a call that this problem is facing by you and you get immediate call back. However, the time taken in solution of problem may vary, but problem may get solved. So these are the key performance area. And what do you mean by key performance results? Key results area. Wherever you have done task, you have been bothered whether the result is being obtained or not. So your action, whatever the action you take, may have some results, and you want to check such results, right? Okay. So these are the key areas. We have to make a list, drill down some them. Only then management key performance indicator can be get in the eye of management. Now, next one is appraisal and review. Appraisal, review of what? Performance. What do you mean by appraisal? First, you can do appraisal by your own. Second, you can do appraisal by your own. Second, you can get appraisal done by some of your seniors. When you do appraisal by your own, maybe satisfaction may be high that whatever you think, in your opinion, whatever you think that it is required to be get corrected, it will be get corrected. When you talk about reviewing, that means appraisal start with review. Appraisal start with review. Whatever you have done, recheck it. We call it as review. And get appraisal, that means check what are the positive out of them, what are the negative, and whatever the negative, achievement, you have to minimize them. So whatever the action employee do in organization definitely have positive as well as negative. Definitely have a positive as well as negative. Whatever you are doing, positive and negative are there. You have to minimize. You have to minimize negative things out of the performance of employee. Then there is a feedback system. There must be some feedback system in the organization. If the feedback will not turn up, if feedback is not turn up, the employee unable to know what are the drawbacks, what are the technological hurdles he is facing, and along with the feedback, there should be some mechanism to provide training and development. So when we talk about feedback, there must be some there must be some training and development attached to it. Expected outcomes are there with which performance is compared. Then next, rewarding. Next is rewarding. What do you mean by paying the reward? That is, those who are good performer, those who are good performer, they must be paid off well, paid off well. लेकिन आजकल तो क्या हो रहा है, आजकल कोविड टाइम पीरियड में बड़ा मुश्किल सा होता जा रहा है, right? But it is a general phenomenon. We are talking about more generalized, like, performance improvement plan. Whatever the performance of the employees there must be communicated to them. Key area must be identity and improvement of the employee must be there. Next one is potential appraisal. Next one is potential appraisal. If you ask me who do performance appraisal, we already talked about that performance appraisal. Appraisal come from top to down. So it is a vertical movement of the employee, right? Then we talk about some terminologies. Next one we talk about some terminologies or some basic terms. First one is productivity, performance, productivity, and efficiency. First one, productivity. We already discussed that productivity a is ratio between what? Between input and output, or you can say output and input. So productivity, we already discussed yesterday. Mr. A produces 800 units in 8 hours. So what is his productivity? 100 units per day. If Mr. B produces if Mr. B produces 600 units in 5 hours, so what is his productivity? Productivity is 600 divided by 5 give you 120 units. What could I say? Overall production matter? Answer yes. Overall production sometimes it matter. But question is productivity matter? Yes, productivity. How much time one must take to produce such total output is also a matter. If you put Mr. B, if you put Mr. B for 8 hours, then what happens? His total output will be 8 into 120, work out to be 960 units. So productivity now I am asking you a question, and in fact I will reply myself also. Productivity is an absolute term or a relative term? Answer. Productivity expresses the relationship between input and output. It does not deal with only the quantity of output, not only quantity of output. I'm underlying this. Consider not deal only with the output, but it deal with the ratio of output and input. Right. A highest productivity mean more efficiency, whereas a lower productivity may mean less efficiency. Right. Now, when we talk about technical efficiency, allocative efficiency, right? We talk about efficiency. There are two type of efficiency. I must also refer one situation as well. Book talk about technical efficiency, TIAE. TI stands for the technical efficiency. AE stands for the allocative efficiency. That technical efficiency means whether it is technically possible or not. I want to give detailed example over this. So, am I allowed to open one more file? Is my screen is visible? New screen is visible as well? Yes, new screen is visible. Hope so. Right. What I want to talk about? I want to talk about technical efficiency. There are two type of technique you already learn about. One is capital incentive technique. One is labor intensive. That you already know, I think so. Where we use more of the capital, where we use more capital and less labor, where we use more labor and less capital. Right. Let's consider one example. There are techniques of production A, B, C, D, which require use of labor and use of capital. 10, 2, 8, 5, 6, 8, 6 8, and I want to say 6 once more, say 10, and all this give me output. Any of the process I can use, I will obtain output of 1000 units. Now, this is basic question I have taken. I need answer from you in chat box. If you reply, it's good. If you are not replying, again it is good. No issue. Right. This one is visible. Thank you. Right. So allow me to move ahead. Now, I want to ask you a question that I can use any of the process. I can use any of the process A, B, C, D. And what is my output? I'm saying my output is only how much unit? 1000 unit. I am very confused in process A to C. I can use either A, I can use B, I can use C. So from A, B, C, I am little worried about which technique I use. But what about process D? I'm getting one answer that sir D को तो use करेंगे ही नहीं. Why? Because labor दोनों में 6 है COD में, लेकिन कैपिटल का यूज एक जगह 8 है एक जगह 10 है. We choose 8. So all these are technically efficient, but this one is technically inefficient. This one is technically inefficient. Which one? Process D. I think I made my sense clear. What do you mean by technical efficiency? Now, if you allow me to go a little more detail, I should take wage rate. Wage rate, say 2 rupees per unit, and interest rate, allow me to take 1 rupees per unit. So what is my technical efficiency? Technical efficiency, D is not there. But what about my economic efficiency? Now I'm talking about economic efficiency. Economic efficiency. Economic efficiency related with cost of production, while technical efficiency related with selection of techniques of production. If you say, what is the cost of A? What is the cost of A? Just consider it is 10 into my 2 plus 2 into my 1. Right? It is 20 plus 2, that is 22 rupees. Now, consider B process. It is 8 into 2 plus 5 into 1. It is 21 rupees. What about C process? It is 6 into 2 plus 8 into 1. That is 12 plus 8, 20. Now, what is next? Can you tell me which one is economically efficient? There is a filter. Filter 1. What is filter 1? In this pocket, we have TE plus TIT, out of which we filter and we obtain only TE. हमारे पास सारी प्रोसेस थी ABCD एक बॉक्स के अंदर, हमने उसको फिल्टर किया और टेक्निकली इनएफिशिएंट को ड्रॉप कर दिया। हमने ऑलरेडी ड्रॉप कर दिया कौन सी प्रोसेस को, डी को। अब ABC में से हमारे पास जो बचा, प्लीज गिव मी अ सेकंड, देयर इज अ डिस्टरबेंस, अ सेकंड प्लीज। I'm sorry. There is a process A, B, C, and D. D is technically inefficient, so I drop it out. Then what happened? After we have A, B, and C, all the three processes are technically inefficient. But after this, these are technically sound. These are technically sound processes. But I want to consider my cost of production should be economic. It should be lowest, which giving me 22, 20, or 20. All the three, four processes processing the same output, 1000 output. But A cost, B cost, C cost 21, sorry, 22, 21, 20. So out of this, last filter will go in favor of C because it is economically efficient. Right. So coming back to my concept again, I think so. I make my sense clear. What do you mean by economic efficiency and technical efficiency? Am I allowed to move forward? Okay. Next one, when we talk about efficiency, we will check everything is given over here, but I make my example to give you some illustration regarding what do you mean by efficiency and what do you mean by inefficiency. And I'm highlighting a few words so that you are confident that whatever my example is match with your study mat as well. So one filter, what I talk, that technical efficient plus technical inefficient, all the processes are one in one basket, and you remove what process? Technical inefficient. Who are you remaining in a basket with technical efficiency? Right? Out of this technical efficient, you have several processes, say like A, B, C, and you choose one that is cost minimum technique, which is C, which is C process. Right. Now, a question arises. A question arises. How we can measure productivity? How we can measure productivity? A question arises. How we can measure productivity and efficiency? Please look at here. There are different methodology of calculating productivity and efficiency. First one is partial and second one is total. Right? both have the same approaches. Frontier approach or frontier approach or partial and total, and both have frontier approach, right? Have you observed this? Right. Both have frontier approach and index number approach. Frontier and index, and again, both are parametric and non-parametric. Now, I want to make clear about this. What do you mean by frontier? It is written, and I really appreciate the institute have given a beautiful diagram so the student can understand it very easily. What do you mean by index number approach and what do you mean by frontier approach? Frontier approach means you are preparing some diagram, and out of the diagram, you find some of the best solution. Some of the best solution. When you preparing diagram, you may use mathematical models or non-mathematical models. Mathematical models are called parametric, while qualitative models are called this one use of mathematics. Are you getting me? Here use of mathematics, and here in parametric, in non-parametric, what you use, a little maths is also used, no issue. But in non-parametric, he'll deal with the qualitative data. Deal with the qualitative aspect. Deal with qualitative aspect. And frontier mean use of diagrams, and index approach mean use of some numbers. Use of some numbers. Right. So these are the way of measurement of partial productivity and total productivity. What do you mean by partial productivity? Partial productivity means when you're measuring some of the individuals, performance of one employee. When we talk about measurement of group, then we call total productivity, total factor productivity. Right. Next we talk about financial performance analysis. Now, a question arises. Why you are doing so? Why you are doing financial performance? Financial performance analysis. Any one of you can turn up and say, sir, इसमें ये होता है. Chat box is open, I think so. I think so. Chat box is open. No. Yes, chat box is open. So I like that someone of you please turn up. Thank you very much. Institute has provided you a lot of facility. Right. Financial performance analysis. Analysis. What do you mean by financial performance? How you measure it? Whether excellent. Preparation of balance sheet and profit and loss account. I expect this answer must turn up, but they are very extreme solutions. And what about cash flow? What about cash flow? Right. Excellent. Profit and loss a company is making. Preparation of cash flow. And anyone, anything else? Please, anyone of you? Anyone of you? Please. Balance sheet, cash flow, and but I have already asked. Have you heard about discounting technique? Discounting technique in which you already calculated NPV. Excellent. Sheetal Puja, excellent. PI, Himanshu, excellent. Then IRR, right. So, good. There is an illustration at page number 7. At page number 7, there is an illustration. You must refer it as a homework, right? Some figures are hypothetical given and something is given. And basically, illustration is related with cash flow. It's related with cash flow. And simple, this one is a simple illustration. I want to give you homework. You can try it, and I don't think so any problem will come up. So, when we talk about financial performance analysis, when we talk about financial performance analysis, then हमने करना क्या क्या है यहाँ? What we have to do? First, ये तीन चीजें तो नहीं है, लेकिन इनके मेन एरियाज क्या क्या है? What are main areas of financial performance analysis? First one is working capital requirement. What is working capital? Any one of you? Any one of you? What is working capital? What is working capital? Please reply. What do you mean by working capital? I'm talking about that financial performance analysis have first segment is working capital. And what is the formula? Current asset minus current liability, am I right? And current asset के अंदर अगर मेरे को ऐसे रिप्लाई आएगा मेरे को पढ़ाने का मजा डबल हो जाएगा। वर्किंग कैपिटल के अंदर करंट एसेट्स के अंदर हम किन किन चीजों को ध्यान देंगे? कैश मैनेजमेंट, इसके लिए हम कैश बजट बनाते थे। एक्सेलेंट। रिसीवेबल मैनेजमेंट, रिसीवेबल मैनेजमेंट, इसके अंदर हम अपनी क्रेडिट पॉलिसी डिस्कस करते थे। That you already learned in paper number 10 of your inter cost FM. Any one of you can make me understand 3, 20, 40. This terminology have you understood? Or 3 percentage, 20, net, 40. Have you understood this terminology? You already used it. 3% discount is provided if the payment is made within 20 days, and in the payment should be made within 40 days. If it is paid within first 20 days, 3% discount is provided. Right. So financial performance analysis deal with first one, working capital management. Next one, have you understood this? Right. Thank you. So I'm moving ahead. Right. Some replies are coming. And next one, in financial performance analysis, what is the second area? What is the second area? Second area is financial structure or capital structure of the organization. Capital structure. Why we talk about this capital structure? Is it so important? How much source of finance come from? How much source of finance come from equity? How much source of finance come from preference share? How much source of finance come from that? For that we already talk about KD, KP, KE, right? Am I right? Okay. Next area of financial performance analysis is activity analysis. What do you mean by activity analysis? Or you can say turnover ratios. Activity analysis. How we do an activity analysis? By checking out turnover ratio. Turnover ratio. How we calculate turnover ratio? How we calculate turnover ratio? How we calculate turnover ratio? That is different type of turnover ratio. STOR, DTOR, CTOR, right? Stock turnover ratio, debtor turnover ratio, working capital turnover ratio, fixed assets turnover ratio, and so on. And profitability analysis. We already talked about we already talked about NP ratio, GP ratio, profitability, return on equity, return on investment, etc. So, if I ask you again, what are the functionality of FPA? What are the functionality of FPA? So we have four functionality. Any one of you may turn up and reply. One is working capital, one is activity, one is capital structure or financial structure, one is profitability. So this question may come in theory. First chapter is theory part. Second chapter is also theory, but I want to do some numerical questions. I won't go entirely theory. I will make chapter practical and sharing some notes as well. The notes will come via mail. Chapter 2 and 3 I will discuss entirely practical approaches. Right. Next one, because when you understand practical, you will also understand underlying theories. Next one is financial analysis, modus operandi, and material utilization. I think this I should give you homework regarding material utilization and theory part. Right. So I am moving little ahead to one of my next topic. What are the accounting techniques? What are accounting techniques of financial performance analysis? What are accounting techniques of financial performance analysis? First one, you already, someone of you commerce background or not commerce background, don't worry about little. It is so simple. First one, you already heard of ratio analysis. Various type of the ratio. Can you tell me four type of ratio you have done already? You may reply in chat box. You may reply in chat box. Liquidity ratio. कौन सी होती है ये? कौन सी होती है? Please. What are the different type of liquidity ratio? Yes, liquidity. Right. CR, QR. We not discuss it. Already you have done profitability ratio. profitability ratio. Next one is right. Next one is profitability ratio. Have you heard of activity ratio? Activity ratio, right? Profitability ratio, net profit ratio, GPR, gross profit ratio, activity ratio. Last one is solvency ratio. Reply me activity ratio. What are different type of activity ratio? When you go in interview, this should be spontaneous. Turnover ratio, like STOR, DTOR, right? Excellent. Solvency ratio. Someone of you, please. Solvency ratio. Please reply. Solvency ratio. No, none of you. This is asset turnover ratio. That is okay. Solvency ratio. Debt over equity ratio. Proprietary ratio. Interest coverage ratio, and so on. Right. Clear. So again, we are moving little ahead. This is first analysis accounting ratio. Can you tell me second? Second is second is have you prepared common size statement? Common size statement. Am I allowed to take an hypothetical example? Am I allowed to take hypothetical example? Common size and comparative. Right? Comparative statement. Third one is comparative statement. Fourth one is trend analysis. First one is first one is ratio analysis. Four type of ratio. Now I am preparing a statement, right? Sales 2019, 2020, right? 10 lakh, 4 lakh. X one. What is absolute change? What is percentage change? 6 lakh minus cost of goods sold. because I expect this answer should be given by you. What I am doing. Say 6,80,000, 5,20,000 is change. How I calculated absolute change? Anyone of you? New figure minus old figure, right? Okay. This is 4 lakh. This is 3,20,000. This is 80,000. Anyone of you can tell me what is percentage change? Anyone of you can tell me what is percentage change? This is what statement? Comparative statement or common size statement? 60%. What? Increase or decrease? There is decrease. There is 6%. Percent. This is what is statement. This is what statement? The statement of comparative analysis. Now, I also talk about common size statement. Let's consider 'fixed asset, investment, cash, stock, debtors, say 10 lakh, 5 lakh, 3 lakh, 1 lakh 50,000, 50,000. This total turn up to be 20 lakh, and I express as a percentage, and I want to express it as a percentage. So this will work out to be 50%. This is work out to be 25%. This is work out to be 17.5%, 15%, 0.5%. Right, 0.25%. Somewhere I did mistake. Anyone who can correct me out? 11.5%. So this one is 3 lakh. This one 3 lakh. That is 15%. This is 2.5%. Right here. So this is what statement? It is common size statement. This is common size statement. Right. Next one. Next one we have trend analysis. Right. And you have data related to revenue of 2018, 2019, 2020, revenue oblique sales, say 1 lakh rupees, 10 lakh rupees, for example, then 20 lakh, then you have 12 lakh. You prepare, you have different items, COGS, 8 lakh, say 17 lakh, say, for example, 9 lakh. You prepare a diagram of it. The value from 10 to 20 to 12, COGS from 8, 17 to 9, right? So let's say it is nothing else but the time series analysis. It is nothing else but the time series analysis. Any one of you can tell me, being industrialist, इस टाइम सीरीज एनालिसिस का किस सॉफ्टवेयर पे ज्यादा एनालिसिस होता है? एनी वन ऑफ यू? This software we use for preparation of time series analysis. And any one of you heard this word, point integration? Any one of you? Please reply. I really appreciate. Have you heard this name? Point integration, time series analysis. Right. How many participants are there? 19 here about. Ankit, Chetan, Mr. Chaviram, Himanshu, Lukesh. Have you heard this name? Point integration. Have you heard this name? Time series analysis. आप सीएमए बनने के बाद आपको ये बहुत जरूरी आना चाहिए एक सॉफ्टवेयर. नेम ऑफ सॉफ्टवेयर इज ईबीन्यूज. writing here key view. Okay. When on this axis, what I have taken on this axis, बताइए इस axis पे क्या लूंगा मैं? 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, and so on. What I have taken in on this axis? Time. Am I right? On this axis, what I am taking? On this axis, I am taking cost as well as revenue. How many series I have taken? How many series? Answer 2. Right? One is revenue, one is cost. Are they related with each other? Yes or no? Yes, they are related with each other. Right? तो आप यहाँ पे ट्रेंड एनालिसिस करेंगे. अगर रिलेशन नहीं होता तो नहीं करते. आ रही है बात समझ में? अच्छा, मैंने ये वर्ड डाला क्वांटिफिकेशन. इन दोनों के बीच का गैप, दोनों के बीच का गैप, गैप बिटवीन टू, अगर आप कंट्रोल कर सकते हो या कांस्टेंट है, तो ये क्वांटिफिकेशन सीरीज कहलाती है, अदरवाइज नहीं. राइट. चलिए, कभी मैं आपको एक क्लास में फुर्सत मिली तो थोड़ा सा ये इसके ऊपर करके दिखाऊंगा. और किस एस्पेक्ट में करके दिखाऊंगा? शेयर का प्राइस गिवन लूंगा मैं, शेयर मार्केट से डाटा उठाएंगे और ट्रेंड एनालिसिस करके दिखाएंगे और वॉल्यूम उठाएंगे शेयर का. शेयर प्राइस एंड शेयर वॉल्यूम दोनों उठाएंगे, पिक करेंगे और करके देखेंगे. लाइव करके देखेंगे, लाइव करके दिखाऊंगा तब ज्यादा अच्छे से. चलिए, सो अकाउंटिंग एनालिसिस करने के कितने पार्ट्स थे? कमिंग बैक टू आवर टॉपिक, अकाउंटिंग एनालिसिस करने के कितने अकाउंटिंग टेक्निक्स क्या क्या थी हमारे पास? राइट. एक्सेलेंट. बीच बीच में जब रिप्लाई नहीं देते स्टूडेंट को ऐसा लगता है बस मैं ही हूँ अकेला पढ़ाने वाला. बिकॉज इट नॉट अ वेबिनार, इट्स अ क्लास. देयर इज अ डिफरेंस इन क्लास एंड वेबिनार. क्लास run two way, not one way. Had it been webinar, I will speak hours and hours since tomorrow morning, no issue. Okay. First one is ratio analysis, right? Again, ratio analysis, you have four techniques. Then you have a common size statement. You have common size statement. You have comparative. What comparative? Generally, comparative income statement बनता है और generally common size balance sheet बनती है. What I am talking about generally. The last one is trend analysis. Now I want to ask you question. New business started. न्यू बिजनेस स्टार्टेड हुआ है और उसको जस्ट 1 ईयर ही हुआ है काम करते हुए. आप क्या प्रिपेयर करोगे? विच वन यू प्रिपेयर? विच अकाउंटिंग टेक्निक यू विल यूज? 1 ईयर ही हुआ है उसको, सिर्फ ओनली 1 ईयर. Himanshu, we cannot use trend. Wrong. We cannot use comparative. Yes, Sanket. We cannot use Chetan. Chetan, we cannot use comparative statement because 1 year you were, right? For comparative, you are required old minus new or new minus old. Either you will use ratio analysis, right? Or you use common size statement. रेशियो की प्रॉब्लम होगी एक, बताइए क्या? स्टॉक टर्नओवर रेशियो निकालोगे आप तो प्रॉब्लम होगी एक रेशियो निकालते हुए. COGS divided by what? Average इन्वेंट्री. एवरेज में आप थोड़ा सा प्रॉब्लम में फंस जाओगे. ओपनिंग में कुछ नहीं था, राइट? राइट. गुड. थैंक यू वेरी मच. नाउ नाउ टाइम टू मूव अहेड. नाउ वी टॉक अबाउट supply chain management. We have to talk about supply chain management. Next topic is supply chain management. What do you mean by supply chain management? Like, there is a manufacturer, transporter, right? Physical distribution, and last one is consumer. I don't know whether Farman is in my class or not. Some of my old students are there. Some of my old students are there or not. That topic we have discussed in last attempt as well. Supply chain management means all the techniques, all the procedure that start with manufacturer and end on consumer. It's called what? Supply chain management. It is also called as logistic management or supply chain management have a different component. What are the different components? First one is first one is there must be some plan, right? There must be some sources. There must be some sources from where you will arrange, you will make it, you will deliver it. It also involve after sales service like return, plan. So what are the main component? So these are the main components. First one is plan, सोर्सेस. या तो आप अरेंज करो प्रोडक्ट को, अगर आपने प्रोडक्ट अरेंज नहीं करना मेक करो और उसकी डिलीवरी करो. माल पसंद आया तो ठीक, गुड. नहीं पसंद आया तो वो रिटर्न होगा. लास्ट क्लास में मेरी टैबलेट के साथ ये प्रॉब्लम हो गई थी. मैंने उनको इमीडिएटली बोला प्लीज टेक इट रिटर्न एंड गिव इट टू मी अगेन a new one. So it is again a part of what? Logistic management or supply chain management, SCM. सप्लाई चेन मैनेजमेंट का डेवलपमेंट कहाँ हुआ, राइट? क्या क्या प्रॉब्लम्स आई, अब ऑनलाइन होने से क्या क्या एडवांटेज हो गई है, तो हम इनको देखते हैं. तो आई वांट टू आस्क यू अ क्वेश्चन कि सप्लाई चेन मैनेजमेंट ने फिजिकल मार्केट को अच्छी तरीके से डिस्टर्ब किया या नहीं किया? पीपल रियली बाइंग फिजिकली और दे start moving towards supply chain management. Amazon, Flipkart, in facilitator, they are facilitator. सबसे पहले तो क्या सप्लाई चेन मैनेजमेंट ने क्या बेनिफिट दिया? फर्स्ट, डिमांड एंड सप्लाई को मैचिंग करने में इसने आसानी करी. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ यू कंसीडर होटल इंडस्ट्री, एयरलाइन इंडस्ट्री, भाई एयरलाइन खाली जा रही होती थी, होटल इंडस्ट्री में काफी इम्पैक्ट था. तो इन्होंने आगे क्या इम्पैक्ट किया सप्लाई चेन मैनेजमेंट ने? जैसे ही ऑनलाइन इंफॉर्मेशन आई कि there are some discounting factor in hotel industry, people really start moving and they pay attention that it is not necessary to move in only in case of season. There are some instances have been found in Indian uh, tourism and travel industry that lot of people are coming to India only for destination marriage. When there is a off season, they will get low rate supply. It is how it is possible only when the online information data is been provided. Have you heard one of the aircraft industry? What I'm writing, Boeing. Have you heard this name? Please reply me in chat box. Boeing Airways or Boeing Aircrafts, right? Airbus, Airbus. Okay. When their stock become outdated, or during the COVID, what happened to stationary person? Those who are using registered copy and pen, their stock become outdated. They have to throw it. It become a junk for them. Because people are really shifting on online mode during the COVID period. But what happened when their products become outdated? People not really like to go to a particular type of planes. All will go in junks. And there is a second hand, right? There are so much prices for this Airbus. Yes, Chetan. Why these prices are there? Because they have lot of investment in the product making process, while the demand is not matching. Demand is not coming up. Supply is there. वो माल बेचने को तैयार है, but demand is not there. And can you exactly estimate what are the cost of one aeroplane? It's very difficult. Second thing is, are we are well enough that we have prepared a forecasting plan We prepare our forecasting plan and it really work out versus actuality or actual position, right? What I'm saying, सप्लाई चेन मैनेजमेंट में ये प्रॉब्लम आती है। क्या क्या? डिमांड और सप्लाई। दूसरा, फोरकास्टिंग कैसे करते हैं? एनी वन ऑफ यू, हाउ वी डू फोरकास्टिंग? एनी वन ऑफ यू प्लीज रिप्लाई, हाउ वी डू फोरकास्टिंग? स्टैट्स पढ़ी होगी थोड़ी सी। नो, बेस्ड ऑन ट्रेंड। स्टैट्स का कौन सा टूल यूज करते हैं? पढ़ा है आपने ये चीज? मीन मीडियन मोड, कोरिलेशन, regression. Have you heard this word regression? Any one of you heard this word regression? Right. Teacher, डॉक्टर लव अग्रवाल रोज नियर अबाउट कोविड, जब हमारा लॉकडाउन था, 4 PM पे कुछ एक मीटिंग करते थे और वो कहते थे इफ देयर इज नो लॉकडाउन देन एस्टिमेटेड फिगर इज दिस। तो वो कैसे बताते थे? हवाबाजी में या कोई मैथमेटिकल मॉडल फिट करके बताते हो? There is some scientific way of in speech or whatever the number come in mouth you say, no issue. Please, you have to reply. I need some replies. It's class mean two-way process. If there is some scientific way or name theory, yes, scientific method. What does scientific method mean? It's a regression analysis. All of you clear? Right? Sometimes this regression is not fit. Why? Because sometimes the actual position is different as compared to forecasting position. Why so? Because when you are doing forecasting, you made some assumption, right? But at the time the actuality come, forecasting आपने एक टाइम पे करी, इस टाइम पे आपने forecasting करी, एक्चुअलिटी को आते आते टाइम पीरियड टाइम चेंज हो गया। तो अगर आपने ये टाइम चेंजेस मॉडल के अंदर फिट कर रखे हैं तो अच्छी बात है, नहीं तो वो मॉडल फेल हो जाता है। इस मॉडल को फिट करने के लिए मैं आपको एक सॉफ्टवेयर यूज आता है SPSS। दो सॉफ्टवेयर बता दिए मैंने आपको, एक बताता है ईव्यू, एक बताया SPSS। इंस्टीट्यूट बहुत सारे कोर्सेज करवाता है इससे रिलेटेड। आपको लगता है हाँ भाई ये तो वो चेक करते रहिए इंस्टीट्यूट की वेबसाइट, इंस्टीट्यूट करवाता है इससे रिलेटेड। आई हैव गुड practice of visiting the website of institute on a recurring basis. So when suppose you certainly know demand, is there is some risk involved? Uncertainty is there or not? There is some uncertainty there or not? There are some uncertainties. There are some uncertainty. तो उसका सॉल्यूशन हम कैसे निकालते हैं? स्टैट्स के कौन से मॉडल को यूज करते हैं? Have you heard probability? Have you heard this word probability? ये कब यूज होती है? When you use it? When the event are certain or when the event are uncertain? जब certain है तो probability यूज करें या ना करें? Yes or no? When the event are certain, can we use probability or not? Why? Why no? Good. Whether have you heard this? ये ऐसा कभी देखा है? पर देखा है कभी? नो नो नो, एक्चुअल नहीं पता हमें पूछा. We don't know actual. We are saying it is certain. Certain में probability का यूज नहीं करते. पहले बताइए कि P equals to 1 ये इवेंट कौन से कहलाते हैं? श्योर इवेंट, राइट? श्योर इवेंट होते हैं तो हमें प्रोबेबिलिटी का यूज करना ही नहीं है, सेंस ही नहीं बनेगी, क्योंकि मीन और वेरिएंस अराइज ही नहीं होगा. देयर इज नो वेरिएंस, राइट? इन केस ऑफ अनसर्टेनिटी, ओके. नाउ व्हाट आई एम सेइंग, सप्लाई चेन मैनेजमेंट में कभी कभी डिमांड हमारी क्या हो जाती है? सर्टन या अनसर्टन? अनसर्टन. क्या हो जाती है हमारी डिमांड? अनसर्टन. क्यों हो जाती है? क्योंकि हो सकता है लीड टाइम हो उसमें, लीड या लैग हो इसमें डिमांड में, या हो सकता है मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में लीड और लैग हो. व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय लीड और लैग? एनी वन ऑफ यू बताइए, लीड क्या होता है, लैग क्या होता है? रिप्लाई दीजिए. व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय लीड एंड लैग? लीड बिलोंग टू, लैग मीन डिले, राइट? लैग मीन डिले. व्हाट टाइप ऑफ डिले? इंटेंशनल डिले और अनइंटेंशनल डिले. लैग मीन डिले. गुड. इंटेंशनल डिले, इंटेंशन होती है आपकी नोट 9 प्रो मैक्स. आई डोंट नो, आई राइट इट एम आई नोट. पहले एडवर्टाइजमेंट कर दो इसकी धड़ाधड़, फिर कभी सेल आती है 10 दिन बाद, तो वो कौन सा लैग है? मैन्युफैक्चरिंग लैग है या लीड है? लीड मीन ऑन और बिफोर टाइम. यस शीतल, एक्सीलेंट. लैग मीन इंटेंशनल डिले, ताकि उस प्रोडक्ट की डिमांड क्रिएट हो जाए और मैन्युफैक्चरिंग उतनी हो जितना कंजम्पशन हो जाए. एक्सीलेंट, गुड. ऑल ऑफ यू गुड. ओके. तो इन सारी चीजों में ये जो प्रॉब्लम आई थी, इसका सॉल्यूशन एक निकाला था. मैं लिखता हूँ इसका सॉल्यूशन, आप इसकी फुल फॉर्म बताइएगा. आपको पता है, ऑलरेडी यू नो. हैव यू हर्ड दिस वर्ड? यस, जस्ट इन टाइम. तो सप्लाई चेन मैनेजमेंट में जस्ट इन टाइम का बड़ा यूज है, राइट? कहाँ यूज हो? अब ये टेक्निक क्या है? ये टेक्निक है क्या? जस्ट इन टाइम टेक्निक क्या है? एनीवन ऑफ यू कैन टेल व्हाट इज जस्ट इन टाइम टेक्निक? मैन्युफैक्चर की तो हम बात कर रहे हैं कि आप कभी भी मैन्युफैक्चर करो, ये कंजम्पशन पॉइंट है. कौन सा पॉइंट है? कंजम्पशन पॉइंट. ये स्टोर होता है, सपोज करते हैं, मान लेते हैं. नॉट अर्जेंट, माल यहां से यहां आए और इमीडिएटली पहुंच जाए यहाँ, तो ये इमरजेंसी में होता है या गुड मस्ट बी अवेलेबल एट राइट टाइम राइट. वी नॉट डिस्कस अबाउट प्राइस. नो, वी आर नॉट डिस्कसिंग प्राइस को नहीं डिस्कस कर रहा. आई एम ओके. आ लिटिल वॉरी अबाउट प्लेस. यस. टाइम. यस. दिस इज कंजम्पशन पॉइंट. कहीं अर्थक्वेक आया, मैन्युफैक्चरर से रिटेलर को गया, वो माल को स्टोर करे पहले फिर पहुंचाए या तुरंत पहुंचाए? इमीडिएटली. राइट. सो प्रिपेयर योर, am I right? Prepare your production schedule in such a way that कि स्टोरेज कॉस्ट हमारी क्या हो जाए? जीरो. स्टोर या वेयर हाउस खरीदने में इतना पैसा लगाओगे या उसको रेंट पे लोगे इतना पैसा लगाओगे. तो प्लान योर प्रोडक्शन पैटर्न, प्रोडक्शन शेड्यूल इन सच अ वे that the goods will reach to the destination of consumption point just in time. कंज्यूमर आके खड़ा हुआ और माल निकल गया. ये कैसे पॉसिबल है? हाउ इट इज पॉसिबल? इट इज पॉसिबल ऑनलाइन. ये आप ऑनलाइन ऑर्डर दे रहे हो, प्रोडक्शन हुआ, एमआई के सीधा फैक्ट्री से गया किसी एक पॉइंट पे और वहां पे डिलीवरी बॉय खड़ा हुआ था आगे लेके चलता. राइट. एम आई मेक माई सेंस क्लियर? देयर इज टू टॉपिक रिमेनिंग इन दिस चैप्टर. CRM application. Definitely, first chapter will be finished in next class. Thank you very much for your support. Any doubt? Any one of you have any doubt? Any problem? Not understanding of any concept? Can put on chat box. If there is some facility regarding participant can unmute and ask doubt. Sir, discounting technique IRR formula, can you explain? Yes, I can explain IRR formula, no issue. Totally depend upon, I am explaining IRR formula with index approach as well as with frontier approach. No issue. Any one of you else you have problem? You are asked me to calculate IRR. It is minimum rate plus. Pooja, I am asking that I will teach you in both way. Index approach. Index approach means parametric. I am asking you parametric. Minimum rate plus required difference of amount, our total difference of amount into may rate gap, into rate gap. If you ask me how to use this is formula, or I can say index based approach. Sheetal, is it clear? Is it clear? Okay. If you ask me, prepare a diagram for it, no issue. Is this one is clear? Should I go explanation further or should I stop? If doubt is clear, formula is clear, I'm not understanding, concept is clear, so should I stop? Okay. Thank you, Himanshu, putting his notice. You want to me do some numerical question on IRR? I can go for it, but it is not required for my curriculum. Yes, it is in your syllabus in some other subject, but for me, word arise IRR. Okay, let me check. Right now, I am available with a question. If it is so, I do it immediately. Okay, you might come across with such type of problems. And my screen is visible. Is my screen is visible? No, my screen is visible. Right. Thank you. How many of you are there? Right, 14 are there. So one of student asked me problem. So I am doing only in case of project A. There are two projects mutually exclusive. So I'm discuss only on project A. Will not consider a case of project B. Right. That you do yourself. On project A, what is the technique of NPV we have to do? Why I am saying IRR? For IRR, first you are required to calculate NPV. First you calculate NPV. Why so? Any one of you? What is IRR? What is IRR? I'm not asking full form. I'm asking what it is. काम क्या करता है ये IRR? It is like a discounting factor at which NPV is equals 0. Am I right? Am I right? Okay, that means between one positive value and one negative value, there be some neutral value, and the rate at which such neutral value exists is called IRR rate. My dear friends, you allowing me to explain it further? Right. So I am taking example of project A only. Our life period of 5 years. Both are mutually exclusive project and both have initial cash outflow of 1 lakh rupees. Now, in question it is given the required rate of return is 11%. So my first notional is I discounted at what percent? I discounted at what percent, friends? At what percent? 11%. Right. After doing it, these are my DCF. You already know about it. DCF. Yes. Discounted cash flow. This is sum of my DCF. 118,272 minus cash outflow 1 lakh. So my NPV is 18272. Am I right? बताइए यहां तक समझ में आया? ओके, मेरे को एनपीवी निकालने के लिए एक पॉजिटिव वैल्यू चाहिए, एक नेगेटिव वैल्यू चाहिए. व्हाट इट मीन? वन इज ग्रेटर देन जीरो, वन इज लेस देन जीरो. अगर आपको एक पॉइंट निकालना है, या डायग्राम को मैं और अच्छा बनाऊं, आपने ये वाला पॉइंट निकालना है, ये वाला. यहाँ पे एनपीवी क्या होगी बताइए? यहाँ पे एनपीवी क्या होगी और यहाँ पे एनपीवी क्या होगी? मेरी बात समझ में आ रही है? डायग्राम समझ में आ रहा है? वेरी क्लियर. ओके, सो ये वाला रेट होता है आपका क्या? आईआरआर. ये सारे रेट होते हैं आपके डिस्काउंटिंग रेट. अभी आपने एक 11% लिया तो उस पर पॉजिटिव आई, राइट? अब आप रेट को, डिस्काउंटिंग रेट को बढ़ाएंगे, ऊपर लेके जाएंगे या नीचे लेके आए, कम करेंगे? बताइए, पहले ये बताइए. डिस्काउंटिंग रेट और एनपीवी में नेगेटिव रिलेशन है. डिस्काउंटिंग रेट और एनपीवी में नेगेटिव रिलेशन है. सो यू इंक्रीज इट टू से 20%, राइट? जब आप 20% पे करेंगे, ये दो कैलकुलेशन करने के बाद एक नेगेटिव आएगी, एक पॉजिटिव आएगी एनपीवी. क्या मैं इस पूरी प्रोसेस को समझाऊं या आपको ये समझ में आ गया प्रोसेस, प्रोसीजर क्या होता है? बताइए प्लीज. ऑल ऑफ यू अंडरस्टूड या नहीं? इफ इट इज अंडरस्टूड देन आई स्टॉप. अगर नहीं समझ में आया सो आई पुट इट इन अ पेंडिंग एंड स्टार्ट नेक्स्ट क्लास विद दिस आईआरआर. IRR मतलब ऐसा टॉपिक नहीं है I can complete in one class. I'm taking IRR in one of session somewhere, and I devoted near about 4 classes for the discussion of IRR only, because IRR is 1 divided by PVP as well. Conditional value, it is conditional that life of project is 2 time of payback period. ये आप लिख लीजिए कहीं. एक कंडीशनल है, कंडीशन सेटिस्फाइड होनी चाहिए. अगर आप पूछेंगे कंडीशन भी बताइए तो then we can discuss in some next classes, upcoming classes. ये कभी पढ़ा है या नहीं पढ़ा? रिप्लाई नहीं दे दो. If you are not replying, I presume that you are okay. If you're not asking doubt, it's very good to me. I'm highly satisfied if you're not asking doubt. But I invite you to ask doubts. Okay. So kindly I wind up lecture over here. So next time we continue when we definitely finish our chapter first. Right? Thank you very much, friends. Thank you.